What is going on? Welcome back. It is a beautiful July 1st Canada Day here in Canada. I just wanted to come on here because this specific day, July 1st, has some important significance in my life, and I kind of take moments like this to reflect. In the last couple days, I've just kind of been thinking about what has transpired on this day that's affected my life. How has my life changed since? And because of that, it made me really want to make a post about it. And I've got some cool updates on the car. But if you are here just for the car, you're gonna have to wait, or maybe this video just isn't for you. Anyways, what I'll do is I'll get into the basics of who I am and what I'm gonna talk about here. So as you'll see, the name of this page is Done to Shreds. I used to call it No Bad Days because that's a motto that I live by. It's something I adopted when I first got sober, that I don't believe any 24-hour period is all bad. There is something to be grateful for in that 24-hour period. So you'll see that the banner still says No Bad Days, but it now says Done to Shreds. Now, the significance of Done to Shreds. My name is Ryan McDonough. All my friends know me, and my nickname is Dunna. So, as a skateboarder, snowboarder, car guy, early in the forum days, now let's talk 99, 2000, for some of you that's really dating me, I went by Done to Shreds. So as time went on, it just kind of stuck. It became an Instagram handle. It became all this and that. Is it cheesy? Yeah, of course. But you know what? It is what it is. And so Dunna, my nickname, Shreds, because I shred. I get gnarly. What am I supposed to say? So that's out of the way. The significance of July 1st. Well, A, it's Canada Day. But B, for myself, 9 years ago on this day, I lost my driver's license. I lost it for driving under the influence. I lived a lifestyle for many, many, many years that I'm sure a lot more people were astonished I never got one sooner. I am not proud of this in any way, shape, or form. I'm just very grateful that at no point in my life was anybody ever harmed or injured because of my actions. And the incident was actually, I was pulled over for expired license plate sticker and led to, being checked roadside, and found that I blew over the legal limit. Long story short, lost my license for a year due to this. That's the criminal offense in Canada for driving under the influence, is 1 year license suspension. So as a car guy, this was pretty hard to take. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm sober today. Unfortunately, this event wasn't enough for me to want to get sober. It wasn't a pivotal enough moment that it really made me say, hey, maybe I have a problem here. Just because you get a driving under the influence charge doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. So we'll get that out of the way. In my case, I was, and I'd been suffering for many, many, many years. The thing that I reflect back on in that moment as well is I remember discussing at the scene with the officer. He said, well, you won't even blow anything. You seem completely fine. You just smell like booze. Anyways, I blew over the legal limit. In court, the judge brought up that throughout the whole stop, I showed no signs of intoxication, and that's what worried him most, is that I was able to blow what I did and show no signs of intoxication. That was just a complete obvious sign that I had massive issues with alcohol in my life. So, as things progress, lose my license for 1 year. Due to insurance and things like that, and the situation I was still in, I hadn't gotten sober yet. Even if I had gotten my license back in that 1 year, my insurance would have been insane, probably $1,000 a month. I had lost my car in the whole event, so I would have to get another car, and at that time I was driving a slammed Chrysler 300. So I couldn't afford to do it. My life was out of control. Also, in significance of this date, July 1st, this was 2015 when it occurred. 7 days after this, I believe, maybe it was 8 days, I had to close my skateboard shop and snowboard shop. Not because of the incident, but because of the lifestyle I was living, and it wasn't feasible to keep open anymore. So I had a couple things going on at the moment. So that closes as well. Life is just in turmoil. Things were not good. Anyways, as things progress, it takes an entire year. So this is July 1st, 2015. I finally accepted the offer to go to treatment in September of 2016. So a year and 3 months later. So I go to treatment in 2016. I've been sober since September 6th, 2016. So it's coming up on 8 years now. In that time period, so from my conviction to today, how does life look? How has life changed? I had lost a lot in my active addiction. I had lost my business. I had lost friendships. I had a failed marriage. I lost a home. You name it, I lost it. None of those things made me want to get sober. It literally took the love of people in my life and my family coming to me and expressing their concern, not with ultimatums, but from a place of love and caring, that made me realize that things had to change in my life. So that's what I did. I started to make changes in my life. In the past 8 years since I've been sober, I was able to get my driver's license back. It took me 3 years from the date of conviction to pay off all my fines and get it to a point where I could actually afford insurance. I got my license back. Got a car, so I got a Lexus GS 400. It was a rust bucket. It had to go right away. Then I got a BMW E36 318, slammed wheels, eventually sold that. Got a Mercedes CL203 that you see on a bunch of these videos here, my most viewed videos. Everybody seems to love that. Oddball, redheaded stepchild of the Mercedes family. Then I also got a wagon Passat, and I got a E60 5 Series that you've seen. I've got an E46 3 Series 4-door that's slammed. So I've had a lot of things in a very short period of time in terms of cars. And now I have this. And how Canadian can you get? I got Tim Hortons right on it. So now I have a slammed A4 B7 Avant. So that's all the things that I've acquired in my sobriety. And that's not even the beginning of what actually makes my life half decent. Those are the material things that I've acquired. I have shelter, I have a home, I'm married to a person that I love, and I have an amazing family that cares about me. I have a dog, I have a great job, I have friendships that have been reignited. The people I grew up with are back in my life. All these things that I never thought possible that I'd ever have back in my life are back in my life, and the relationships are tenfold what they were previous. I actually have real relationships with those people in my life. Even though we were friends for 30 years, I wasn't present in their lives. It's not that I didn't care. I just was in such a deep state of my own suffering that I couldn't be in their lives in a supportive and caring way. I went back to university, got my certification in addictions counseling. I work with people on a free basis, helping those struggling with addiction. I mentor Indigenous youth through a program called Outside Looking In, which I've actually taken a year off of doing that, but I did that for 5-6 years. All these things because I finally got my life back. Getting my life back wasn't as simple as quitting drinking and using drugs. Getting my life back was a battle with my mental health issues. In 2001, I was diagnosed with anxiety and panic disorder, which has made my life very difficult. That pushed the drug and drinking use even more. My inability to be in social situations, closed spaces, you name it, I struggled with it, and still to this day struggle with it. But because of my sobriety today, it's now manageable. I now have things that I can do to maybe alleviate some of those stresses and issues. I have less worry, there's less anxiety because I don't have all these lies and all these crazy situations going on in my life. The panic disorders have dissipated substantially since I stopped drinking. I found that actually the alcohol was probably a major component of that because I'd often have the shakes, which in turn would lead to this and that and the other thing. So my mental health has increased significantly. And that's not without work. You know, that's counseling, that's working with others, that's using medication. That's all these things that I've had to do to get that to a point where it's manageable today. Is it perfect? Of course not. Do I still have struggles? Of course. But today I can actually take some time and sit back and reflect and maybe work through what those situations are versus taking the easy out. And for me, that easy out was always alcohol and drugs. I never wanted to feel And the relief that alcohol and drugs brought into my life, I never wanted to lose. So I lived in fear every day of losing that relief. The moment that I realized I could live a life where I didn't have to do that, I was free. And who would have thought that quitting something would give me freedom? You know, like I had mentioned before, I have amazing people in my life. I have an amazingly supportive wife and family and friends. And I don't have a small group of friends. I have a very large group of friends. It's very strange for most people to have had for 30 plus years. At my wedding was a lot of people, and I have known those people over 30 years, some over 40 years, which is crazy to think. And these are people I grew up with that I love and care about that are in my life today. I owe where I'm at today because of that support system. I couldn't have done this without it. I knew that no matter what, people were rooting for me and cheering me on. And I think that the biggest thing during active addiction is I really felt alone. And I really believed that nobody knew the struggles I've been through. Nobody's felt the way I felt. I felt very unique in my problems and struggles. And actually working with others and having peer support taught me that I'm not that unique. I'm not that special. And my situation is a dime a dozen. You know, maybe a couple different situations occur, but you know, as people, I find that we're more like fingers than fingerprints in uniqueness. You know, this struggle doesn't have to be the struggle that we often make it out to be. And in my case, I thought that I was never going to be able to be on the other side of all of this. Did I know what the other side looked like at the time? No. Did I know what all the work would look like? No. And can I tell you what that work is today? Not necessarily, because everybody's journey is different. But the important thing for me and for everybody that's struggling with any aspect of their life is you have to try. You have to put that first step forward, and you have to go out there and make something happen, because nobody's going to do it for you. This doesn't happen by itself. This doesn't happen by itself, and loving yourself doesn't happen by itself. So you have to get out there and put that first step forward. The onus, unfortunately, is on you, whether that's relationships, mental health, work, you name it. Happiness, it's on us as the individual. It's not on other people. So there's one thing that sobriety's taught me, and being in anonymous groups, is that I can't control people, places, and things. The only thing I have any control over is me, myself. So that's the end of my TED Talk. And that's what the significance of July 1st is to me, is that 9 years ago on this day, I walked out of a jail cell, and today I have absolute freedom. And I'm working on getting that all pardoned. So my life looks very different. I have a beautiful life today. I owe that all, again, like I've mentioned, to support, family, friends, anonymous groups, peer support. Although I had to take the first step, we're not designed to do this on our own. Reach out for help. I know it's easier said than done, but if you want, you can reach out to me on social media. You can comment in the section below. There's a million places that are out there that want to help you and support you. People just want you to be happy and healthy. So with that, I'll leave that at that, and we'll leave the very end of this video. Let's go over the car. I finally got it all set up, so we'll cut to that now.